Landon finding their mark.
There's a step up to that professional division, Greg. You mentioned it. She's got some new tools in that arsenal. She's using them.
And that's it.
And I think that stoppage was merciful.
Good call by referee Jerry.
Let's go. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. Welcome to the Cage Nation. No one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors, no one can drop us, no one can stop us. We are the warriors, no one can top us, no one can rock us. We are the warriors.
Happy Halloween, Cage Nation. I'm Batman.
And I'm the elected official, Bane.
What?
Bane, the elected official, has come to set the Cage Nation free. They will no longer have to offer it under the tyranny of the Albert Cannon and the Drew Shannon.
What?
Drew Shannon and Albert Cannon, the host, they don't...
I can't understand you.
I'm Bane!
With that thing on. I can't understand you.
Okay, now I can breathe.
Where's Bane?
He ran that way and he took my pink tie with him. You should go get him, Batman.
Bane!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cage Nation TV. Of course, this is the Halloween edition, but it's also the third episode of the Cage Nation TV Pink Out. Of course, there was no Pink Out last week.
I couldn't find him.
He's around. He's around. Don't you worry, you'll get him.
Oh.
Okay. There wasn't a Pink Out last week because I was visiting my mom, who of course is fighting the good fight against cancer. But you know, we're coming back for the third episode, and we're glad to have you all with us.
Where's your pig?
Bane took it.
Where is it?
Bane took it.
I don't know.
He took, but Batru's got his pink, of course.
No, Batman.
Okay, Batman.
There's no Drew here.
We got all of our pink graphics and everything. It is still the Pink Out, of course. Drew. Batman.
Who's Drew? I didn't look at you when you said Drew. I was looking for Bane.
Batman.
Yes.
That opening clip was Jessica Evil Eye.
Yes, Alfred. Hey, Jessica Evil Eye. She's very good.
Well, she's of course, the First Lady of the Cage Nation, who just won her UFC debut against Sarah Kaufman.
Under controversial kind of circumstances, because it went to a judge's decision.
Well,
there are people that feel she shouldn't have won that, but the judge's decision is final.
Well, those people, I don't agree with that. I think Jessica I certainly won the fight.
She won that fight.
I mean, we respect the judges and referees enough to know that Jessica I did everything she needed to do to win that fight, and not only win a fight, but win a fight against Sarah Kaufman. Sarah Kaufman, of course, is a big deal in women's MMA, so we're very proud of you, Jessica. Good job.
Jessica you're my hero.
Coming up on Cage Nation TV, we got
Alfred.
We got the newsreel. We got another edition of the Cameron Underground.
Yes.
Yes, the Cameron Underground. And then we got the hot topic of the controversial topic of that heel hook being held on too long by Palhares. And we're going to talk about, is that unsportsmanlike? Is it not? What are the ramifications of that?
All that coming up next with me and Alfred on Cage Nation TV.
It's time for another edition of Cage Nation TV Newsreel, spanning the globe to bring you the latest news in MMA.
This past Friday, Ariel Helwani of MMAfighting.com broke the story that Tito Ortiz will not be facing Quentin Rampage Jackson at the inaugural Bellator pay-per-view due to a neck injury that Ortiz suffered during training. Now it appears the pay-per-view has been put on hold, with Bellator 106 now broadcasting live on Spike TV November 2nd for free. Bellator CEO Bjorn Rebney made the announcement during a media call late Friday, and that Ortiz will be sidelined for, quote, a significant amount of time, end quote. There'll be no substituted opponent for Jackson, but Rebney said that he hopes to, quote, be in a position in the next week to make some great announcements, end quote. Rebney also announced that anyone who purchased the November 2nd pay-per-view in advance will be reimbursed. Bellator 106 once again will be on Spike TV November 2nd starting at 9 p.m. Turning to the UFC, following the heavyweight title fight last Saturday, Junior Dos Santos may have ended up in worse condition than expected, as he may have suffered short-term memory loss. Dos Santos says that he thought the fight ended in the second round and that he could not recall the last 3 rounds. Ariel Helwani later revealed that Dos Santos had not suffered any major damage and that the memory loss was expected after a fight like that. He added that Dos Santos' memory should return shortly. In a move that seems a little reminiscent of Bellator's announcement of King Mo, Tito Ortiz, and Quinton Jackson teaming up with TNA Pro Wrestling, the Wrestling Observer newsletter announced this past week that there's a major name from the UFC that is expected to be in contact with the WWE this week about working for the company next year. No word on who that might be, but we'll keep you posted. In local news, Paul P. McAleer will not be fighting at Complete Devastation MMA 9 on November 16th in Altoona. McAleer has stated via his Facebook page that it's possible there may have been more damage to his calf than earlier suggested, and it's not healing properly. Everyone here at Cage Nation TV wishes P-Mac a speedy recovery, and we hope to see him in the cage soon. And finally, Gladiators of the Cage has released their fight card for their upcoming North Shore's Rise to Power 3 card, and it looks like another great night of fights for the organization. Headlining the card will be a dual main event, with the co-main event scheduled to feature Mike Wilkins versus Johnson Joite, and the main event featuring Dominic Mazzata versus Jordan Espinoza. Gladiators of the Cage has also announced a new look, with a brand new cage reminiscent of the one Bellator uses. The new custom-built 26-foot cage will be circular, giving fans a better view of all the action. Add to that the deal Gladiators of the Cage has signed with Tough TV to have the promotion televised nationally, and it's safe to say that Gladiators of the Cage will be ending 2013 with a bang. North Shore's Rise to Power 3 will be December 7th at Stage AE in Pittsburgh.
This has been another edition of the Cage Nation TV newsreel. Stay tuned to Cage Nation TV on Facebook for the latest in MMA news.
Since the dawn of furniture, there has been only one way to keep an infant from rolling off a couch or chair, and that is unsafely cramming cushions against the piece of furniture and hoping the baby doesn't work him or herself under them. Until now. Introducing the Zoster. The Zoster is a revolutionary infant safety product that easily wraps around a cushion to keep your baby from rolling off a couch or chair. The Zoster is made with a fleece material complete with a waterproof underneath to keep various liquids away from your upholstery. The Zoster is currently available in solid colors and pattern designs. You can order the Zoster online today at thezoster.com.
You know, someday, Cage Nation, we're going to give you an inside look as to what goes on between takes, because it is pure comedy genius, even though you stay tuned after the event, after the show, to see, like, the post-credit stuff. It doesn't even hold a candle to what goes on between takes.
That's right, Alfred. It doesn't hold a candle.
It's Albert? Cameron. Albert Cameron.
I'm Batman.
He's Batman. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another edition of the Cameron Underground right here, where Albert Cameron digs into his big dinosaur head and he thinks about fighters that he's known from back in the day to bring you a fight. I'm bringing you fights. We're bringing you fights.
Yes, we are.
We're bringing you fights.
What's on today's Cameron Underground, Alfred?
No, it's not worth it. A name popped into my head as I'm sitting around in the producers' meeting. The producers' meeting, of course, being
you.
Being me, of course. And the name Igor Zinoviev pops into my head. Now, if you remember a couple episodes ago, we did the Fast Five. And one of my favorite knockouts was Frank Shamrock picking Igor Zinoviev up and slamming him to the mat so hard that his clavicle actually turned to dust. Before that fight, Igor Zinoviev was actually a pretty big deal. Whenever he fought Frank Shamrock, it was being billed as the UFC middleweight champion versus the Extreme Fighting middleweight champion. So it was the first kind of cross-promotion title event that we had ever seen in MMA, period. So in Extreme Fighting 1, Igor Zinoviev, a very talented Sambo champion, completely decimates Harold German.
I used to dance the Sambo. Sambo when I was training to be Batman. I would dance the Sambo out at nightclubs.
Samba. Sambo, of course, being the Russian martial art, the grappling, very akin to judo. So then, in the finals of Extreme Fighting 1, Igor Zinoviev, he ends up winning the tournament. He goes on to Extreme Fighting 2, and he beats Mario Sperry. So I'm YouTubing Igor Zinoviev, just because I think he's great and I want to show it off.
Igor Zinoviev.
Igor, which is a Halloween-ish kind of name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Igor.
Igor.
I didn't even think of it. It just happened. That was the synchronicity. So I'm looking for an Igor Zinoviev fight.
And wait, where is it?
Well, what's coming up?
Where is it?
It's coming up. I'm bringing it to. I'm prefacing Igor's fight. So I'm looking for an Igor Zinoviev fight, and I find one where he's fighting Enson Inoue. Enson Inoue, of course, an MMA legend in Japan and in Hawaii, very, very big in the Super Brawl promotion, where Jason Mayhem Miller, Matt Hughes, a bunch of guys came through. I think BJ Penn was involved in Rock and Rumble. However, we got Igor Zinoviev versus Enson Inoue right here on the Cameron Underground. Let's take it live.
Thank you, Alfred.
さあ何としてもこの試合勝ちたいエンセン井上対するはイゴール・ジノビエフ今タックルにいたところですがそこにちょうどチョークスリーパー入ってしまいましたアンタッチの部分ですかね
チャンスがかってますよ
そうですか
はい
イゴール・ジノビエフちょうどこのチョークスリーパーホールドさあこの角度どうでしょうか
でもものすごい力ですねものすごい力もしかしたら入ってるかもしれません
上腕の筋肉が盛り上がっておりました、さあさらに締める
変えてしまいましたね
足をフックしていくエンセン井上しかし離しません
ガードに頭を回した方がいいですね
さあ一旦離れてガードポジション取ったエンセン井上しかしその上からあっと止めましたあっという間なんとエンセン井上敗れてしまった
エンセンの記憶が飛んで
Batman, could we not agree that that was a great fight?
Yes, Alfred. It was a great fight.
When I watched that fight for the first time, I honestly thought Enson Inoue was going to beat Igor Zinoviev. But, you know, that, again, because Igor Zinoviev was such a great... Do we have any bat personal space that you can pull out of your utility belt? No. Okay. Igor Zinoviev got decimated by Frank Shamrock, but Igor Zinoviev was a great mixed martial arts in his own right. He goes on to get involved in the International Fight League, where he was the coach of the Chicago Red Bears, and you're very intimidating, Batman. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't turn my head.
We'll take care of that in the sequel.
Lucius Fox needs to fix this.
And of course, Enson Inoue is no slouch whatsoever. Coming up on Cage Nation TV, we're still going to talk about the hot topic about Rousimar Palhares holding onto the heel hook too long, being cut by the UFC, and Frank practically being a pariah because World Series of Fighting doesn't want him, and the Bellator doesn't want him either. So we got all that coming up. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take you to a special message about Complete Devastation MMA 9 coming up at the Jaffa Mosque November 16th. And of course, Albert Cameron and my buddy Drew Shannon, which if you see him, let him know.
Who?
His name's Drew. He's a very, very talented radio host in the State College area. He's actually going to be really bummed out he didn't get to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about him. I enjoy his show, 10 to 3 on Quick Rock.
Streaming live right now, 1059quickrock.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cage Nation TV. Of course, I am your host, Albert Cameron. With me is special guest and supporter of the Pink Out, Batman.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween indeed. Of course.
Where's your pink?
Bane took it, I told you.
Where is it?
Anyway.
We did that already.
We did. We did. Okay, so Cage Nation, of course, if you're taking your kids out, make sure you're being safe, well-lit areas, so on and so forth. Make sure you're enjoying that.
Don't steal other kids' candy, or I'll be coming for you. Where's my glove? Where is it? Where's my bat gloves?
So my normal co-host, Drew Shannon, is actually getting involved with doing an interview weekly with the head trainer of Complete Central PA Mixed Martial Arts, Ryan Gruen. We're very excited for Drew to have that opportunity.
Thursday mornings at 9:40, or so I'm told.
On 105.9 QWIKRock.com. You can also listen to that. Ryan is an immense trainer. I think he's got a great gym. I actually got to roll with a couple of his guys at his gym for a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, and it was a lot of fun. They have a really great vibe. There's just a lot of great gyms in the area. So, I mean, for Ryan to be on a great radio station, a great gym, a great radio station, everything is completely groovy.
Yes, groovy.
Groovy. All right.
Groovy.
So, Batman.
Yeah.
Recently, there was a fight where Rousimar Palhares held on to a heel hook after the referee stopped the fight.
When was this? When was it?
At the last UFC, I believe.
166.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Batman watches MMA. This is great.
I have to.
He's got to learn those great fighting styles because you never know when an MMA fighter is going to turn up to be a thug.
Exactly.
And Big Sexy over here has got to drop him.
Bane.
Which Bane, played by Tom Hardy, actually played an MMA fighter in the movie Warrior. Now you know. So, Rousimar Palhares hangs onto a heel hook way longer after the referee stops the fight, and he was cut by the UFC. Dana White was having none of that. And I agree with that. I agree with Dana White letting him go because a heel hook is a maneuver where you're taking the heel and you're putting immense pressure on the knee and potentially causing a lot of damage to ligaments, cartilage, and actual bone material. And not only just mentioning that, but there's a lot of other orthopedic issues that could be stemming from like that. Babalu Sobral was another one who held onto a choke way too long. But, you know, not all guys who hold on to subs that long are completely blameless. Royce Gracie, in the main event of UFC 1, held onto a rear naked choke after Gerard Gordeau tapped out. The referee actually had to pry him off. Does that make it okay?
No.
I would say it would not. Hanging onto a heel hook is I think it's just incredibly unsportsmanlike. It kind of makes you look like a little bit of an a-hole.
The MMA fighters are not in the business to cripple their opponents or to maim or hurt them for a permanent basis. They are to fight and compete.
And I mean, the ultimate objective is to win.
Yes.
But to injure a guy to the fact where he can't compete again, I think is just another a-hole maneuver. You know?
Very a-hole-like.
Very a-hole-like. I mean, to hang on to a submission after the fight is over, I mean, that's just really kind of street fight kind of stuff. And I think we're really past that. We got into a place where we have state regulatory bodies like the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission.
Commissioner Gordon.
Commissioner Serb, who has a lot more authority than Commissioner Gordon.
No.
Oh, he does. Oh, he does. Greg Serb, Commissioner Gordon's afraid.
Commissioner Gordon has a lot of say in MMA in Pennsylvania.
No, yeah, that's Commissioner Serb.
Commissioner, yes.
Okay. But we've gotten to the spot where we're competing. We got regulatory bodies being like, hey, you know what, MMA is not that bad. And probably by this time next year, we're going to be seeing MMA at the Madison Square Garden. So we've seen boxing at the MSG, certainly world-class professional wrestling, and now we're going to be getting to MMA. So to hang on to a heel hook submission that could potentially destroy a competitor's knee is just really unsportsmanlike, and it's really kind of a street fight thing to do. I don't think it has a place. Once the referee, the official who is hired, trusted, given power to by the State Athletic Commission, when he says the fight is over, no questions asked.
The third man in the cage says what goes and what doesn't.
Exactly. And I mean, Rousimar Palhares did finish the fight, and here's the kicker, Batman. This is not the first time Rousimar Palhares has held onto a submission too long. He's getting a reputation for it. First time, okay, don't do it again.
Right.
Second time, dude, you're a thug. Third time, you got no place for you in the sport.
Alfred, that's not cool.
No, that is not. It's not cool whatsoever.
No, Alfred.
But I think Rousimar Palhares, I think he's got his come up and it's coming to him. At the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Expo He's actually going to be in a submission match against this, Dean Lister. I believe his nickname's the Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman. Dean Lister. Okay.
Scary.
Dean Lister is a submission guru. He has done it all. He's right up there with the Eddie Bravos. He's right up there with the Gracies. Certainly up there with the Rousimar Palhares. So I think by the time Palhares ends up hitting the mat with Dean Lister, I think he's going to find out the hard way why you shouldn't hang on to a heel hook way too long.
The hard way.
The hard way. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this edition of Cage Nation TV. Of course, thank you very much for supporting the Pink Out, telling your friends about us. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. And, you know, we got a pair of Dan Severn gloves, Drew, or Batman.
Where's Drew?
I'd like to know. We have this pair of Dan Severn fighting gloves that all you have to do to get them in your hands is to go to CageNationTV.com/survey. Tell us a little bit about what you prefer, and we're going to enter you in a drawing to get a piece of memorabilia from one of the forefathers of modern mixed martial arts into your hands.
Where are the gloves?
Gloves?
Where are the gloves?
They're in a safe place.
Where are they?
They're safe from Bane getting a hold of them.
Bane.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'm your elected official, Albert Cameron, and for my co-host, special co-host, Batman, this has been Cage Nation TV. Thank you very much for watching.
I'm Batman.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
We'll see you next week.
Let's go! Ah!
Okay, Drew, you can take the mask off now.
What?
You can take the mask off, Drew, and episode's over.
Not Drew. I'm Batman. But I think I heard Drew.
Really? Really?
I think I'm gonna go.
Drew! No one's buying it. Come on, Drew.
Hey,
Drew,
did I miss anything?
Drew, take the glasses off.
Why?
Because we're indoors. You're not Corey Hart.
No,
take off the glasses.
No, I can't take them off.
Really, Drew? Really?
Happy Halloween.